All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I am Coach Ashley. Today we're joined by founder Greg Kilwine.
Hello, hello. Looks like we have a special guest here too.
And my best friend. This is Wally, you guys. Wally works with me. Do you work with me? Sometimes. No, he just wants hugs. Anyway, hi, do you have a dog? Greg and Amanda have dogs. They have very cute dogs. We'd love to know what yours is. Are you dog people too? Today we're talking about sales pages. It has nothing to do with dogs, but we like to have a little fun around here. So as you're coming in, let us know where you're coming in from. If you're brand new, welcome. The AttractWell Office Hours is a dedicated session for us to work on stuff together. So if you came here looking for help on a particular thing that you're working on in your business today, if you've got questions, if you feel stalled or stuck, want some eyes on what you're doing on your strategy, we are here for that purpose. And of course, today we are going to be going over a template that I've made for you for a sales page and how you can modify it and get it set up to sell the way you want it to. So if you're on our list, and that's attractwell.com/office hours, you should have already received a resource bundle from us today. If you don't have that, don't worry. We'll send it out with the replay and make sure that we include it in the description box below this video. If you are a GetOiling user, do make sure that when you click the link, that you click it, it opens it up. I want you to take it and swap out the word AttractWell with GetOiling, and it's going to work just the same for you. Just a quick note. Let's see. All right, we've got some yeses. We've got a cockapoo. Oh my goodness, dogs are fun. Fabulous. So yeah, we are dog people around here. All right, so today we're going to be talking sales pages. Would love to know what you sell. What would you like to sell? Now, what I'm going to share with you guys today is something that is really designed to sell high ticket. So this could be coaching, it could be a course program, but there's nothing that could stop you from selling things that are lower tier offers. So, you know, where high ticket might be in the thousands price range wise, this will do the heavy lifting to sell something high ticket. You could also, you know, zhuzh it up a little bit, take some pieces out of it, because you don't need to have quite as much in the grand scheme of things to sell something that's cheaper, or you could. It's completely up to you. So went ahead and just went with the biggest thing possible so that you guys could subtract as opposed to figuring out what to add. All right, now let's see what we are selling. Made a page to sell a digital planner. Oh, that's fun. What else? Don't see the template. So Sherry, definitely check out your email where we sent the link to hop on this call right before. So this would have gone out an hour ago, just about an hour ago. So check your inbox for that, but we will reshare and send that with you. Let's see, we've got courses in coaching. So glad that you have appreciated our training, Gigi. Glad you're here. Sherry has a 4-part mini series. I've made it, but not sure how to put them up. So need to follow that one. Well, we've got trainings on those, definitely. Oh, and Greg has put the resource bundle in the chat if you guys haven't gotten it. So awesome. Coaching, courses. We've got ULA ambassadors in here. Fantastic. All right. So let's talk sales pages. So when you are selling something and you are maybe on a discovery call, let's just say, right? If you're a coach, consultant, someone who works with a client one-on-one, either that's service-based or, you know, or coaching or something like that, it's typically a first order of business to know how to sell when you're on the phone with somebody. Right? Like, or on Zoom or in person, right? It's a conversation where you are uncovering the need that somebody has, and you're kind of working through the big picture of what they want, the things that they feel like they lack. Definitely reference our discovery call training on our YouTube channel for this purpose. I actually have a full template of like types of questions and stuff like that that you can ask. But typically in a conversation like this, we're uncovering all of the details so that they're able to take the paintbrush, if you will, in their mind and paint the picture of themselves in the future after having been through the program, process, course, whatever that you have, and seeing themselves there and being really happy and wanting to click purchase on that thing, right? Conversation is an intuitive and simple, relatively simple, and relatively, in the grand scheme of things, easy thing for you to use to sell stuff. because you have a lot of padding built into that strategy where your emotion and your presence and your intuition can all stand in where maybe you don't feel as strong with your verbiage or how you explain something and that kind of thing, right? Right, we can all agree that we could probably sell a little better than most pages that say stuff can sell for us, right? Like that's just kind of how humans work. We talk to each other, like trust is built usually this way, right? So having a page do that heavy lifting for you can be a little challenging. And coming up with a page that effectively sells something, replacing that conversation, right? Because you could get on a call and sell somebody something and they could say yes to thousands of dollars worth of product or services or what have you. But if you want a page to do that, you almost need to lead them through a conversation in their mind on the page. And that's what a successful sales page does. It actually initiates an exchange as though you're sort of having a conversation there with them and you're anticipating thoughts that come to their mind, objections that come to mind, inviting them to stop and envision themselves in this place where they've overcome a problem that whatever you're selling fixes, right? Does this make sense? The philosophy behind this is we're taking what is naturally effective as a conversation, which we should all endeavor to get good at. I know you may not want to do sales calls at all, and certainly not forever, but if you can get like a feel for what a good sales call is like in your words, you are going to make the best sales pages for whatever you sell because you can anticipate these things. Now, I'm going to walk you through a structure that has sort of, here are the notes you need to hit on. But like I said, if you've had some successful sales calls, you're going to know what needs to be said for yourself to sell what it is that you're selling. So with that said, let's go over and actually look at the framework of this. I'm going to walk you through the structure of the page, give you some insights into how you can make it your own, and then we're going to set it up so that it sells, right? So we want to make sure that, you know, if you want payment options, for instance, those things will be there where you need them to be. So definitely grab a pen and paper. You will be getting a replay of this. You may want to walk through this again in the future, but definitely take notes. And if you have questions, do make sure we add those to the Q&A so that we can get to them. All right, so first, I want to actually show you the resource bundle that you're going to get. And that is for a single page called the Sales Page Template. And I believe I've got it right here. Let me pull it up real quick. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so let me share my screen and I'm going to walk through this with you guys. Okay, so it's going to look just like this. If you are a GetOiling user, all you need to do is go up here and type in the word GetOiling, and it's going to show up in your GetOiling account as the same thing. Okay, so what we're going to do here in our sales page template, if you want to, here, let's go view this. Actually, this is what you're going to see. Forgive me. It's going to look like this. This is where you type in GetOiling. That's why that didn't show up. So we put in GetOiling here, you see there's a sales page template. It's a page. If you're in AttractWell, you do the same thing, grant permission, claim the bundle, and it's going to take you over to a page. And I'm just going to look it up right here since it's already in this account. Okay, so this is the page that in the editor, right? So this is the editor that you're seeing here, not the published page. I'm going to click view and we can go take a look at it. Okay, so we've got the header enabled here, which you could choose to do for some, depending on your strategy for using this as a sales page. You may not want to have any navigation options on this page. It really kind of depends on the price point and how people arrive at this page. So there's no one rule for this. All right, so the very first thing that we're going to want to do is to call out our ideal client at the very top and use a color contrasted background, like a red, a pop of something that's like very eye-catching, a nice contrast so that the copy really pops out at you visually. Basically, we're going to say something like calling all, who is your ideal person, right? So, you know, calling all moms who are trying to get everything done, calling all busy real estate professionals, right? Identify your person and call them out right here. Because basically what we're doing, this is above the fold, right? So using that old newspaper philosophy where people purchase things because of the headline, on the, that's sticking up above the fold, looking up at them from the folded newspaper on the counter. This is our make or break right here. We need to make sure that who lands here knows this is for them and they should keep reading, right? So calling all, who is your person? We're going to change the verbiage here, maybe adjust the colors to your brand. Obviously, you do want to have a different image in your parallax background. You're not selling AttractWell. So this is where we say the big benefit, right? So whatever it is that you're offering, this is what we're going to put here. Now, don't put the name of your program here. This is the big benefit that your program offers. So when somebody purchases the thing that you're offering, program, course, whatever it is, what's the big thing that they want from it, right? Say, welcome to my new course about how to set up a website. No, this would be, it's time to finally get the website in place that you want for your business. That's the big benefit that they want, right? That kind of thing. So what's the big benefit? Put that here. Then say a little bit about how it's unique, right? This isn't just any old thing. This is going to help you get what you want because of XYZ reason. And then, and again, like if you have done calls, this is going to come to mind for you. Think of an objection. You're like, hey, it's time to get that website done. If we're selling a website, the objection is, I don't know anything about tech, right? So it's time to get a website done, even if you don't know anything about tech, right? That'd be this thing right here, right? And then the call to action, call them out, right? It's time to finally stop doing whatever it is that they've been doing, trying this on your own. It's time to finally stop. If maybe you're selling something that's in the health and wellness space, it's time to finally stop beating yourself up over not getting results and start fitting into those jeans that you want to, or the bikini or whatever, right? So you can ... So answer the questions that are in this section here. I've got this all ready for you format wise. You're obviously going to need to change the copy, the colors, and the images. So in each section of this page, I'm going to give you a thing to sort of change. So here I went in Canva, and this is actually a play off of an image template from one of our first videos on our AttractWell channel. You can go back and check it out. It says it's website templates for coaches, and it's a homepage template. And these Canva images are in there for you, so you can actually borrow these. But these are just, it's a placeholder for you. You'll notice that this is, oops, what happened to my share here? You'll notice that this is transparent background. I've got floating over this. And then we've got a nice little floaty section here. So this is where you actually give the title of your program. And then whatever the selling points are for your program, you list them out here and you give a call to action. Now you'll notice up to a point on this page, if you get this and you look at this in your own account, when you click the call to action button, it's going to pop you all the way down here to the payment plan options. So that's called a jump to section. And so we already have that set up for you on this page if you want to use it as it's set up, but I will show you how you can modify that if you wanted to change it. So anyway, we want to give the title of the program. What does it do? What does it do? What does it do? What does it do? Let me in, right? And that'll send them down to where they can purchase. But if they aren't ready to purchase, we need to continue the conversation. So let's let them know they're in the right place. If you are experiencing this bad thing and that one and that one and that one, and you want this thing that's different, you're in the right place. If you identify as A, B, C, or D, you're in the right place, right? So let's let them know that this is for you. And then call out the pain, right? Because you're talking about pain points here. Then you want to say, hey, look, I get it. I've been where you've been, and I've figured out how to get this done. I've got the solution you've been looking for, right? We're reassuring them because we kind of poked at a wound here a little bit, right? This hurts. So we're like, poke, 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 poke. Hey, you know what? I got a thing that fixes that. Okay. So what could that look like for you if that was gone? If the pain was gone and you could have what you really wanted, what does your program give them? What goals does your program or course or whatever help them realize? This is now possible. I know what you need. What if it was fixed, right? So we answer that question here. And then we ask them, because now we've said, okay, well, is this you? And they're like, yeah, that's me. I'm still reading. Okay, well, are you ready to actually get the benefit that you're looking for? Then I want you to relate with a pain point that they have right now and remind them that you know how to fix it, because that's why you created this, right? Do acknowledge that this is something that they could probably keep trying to figure out on their own. but then ask them why on earth they would do that, knowing what they know now, that there is someone who's figured this out who can help them, right? Call out and empathize with where they are emotionally around trying to figure out how to solve those pain points, and then let them know that they've got a partner in you and getting it solved. And then all you need to do is, and this is really more about sort of what it is that you would be doing together, of course, in your course or program. All you need to do is show up on Tuesdays and follow the simple steps that I've outlined for you, and you can get this benefit, right? All you need to do is follow 3 steps every morning and complete our check-ins, and you will start to see a transformation in whatever the result is, right? So you're just basically summing up what it's going to look like to get it done, right? So they feel like it's something really, really big, but you've taken, because you've got a course or a program, you've taken that great big thing and you've made it a really simple step-by-step, right? So just tell them that it's simple right here. And of course, you can change this lovely beach parallax image, or you could keep it. Now we introduce the product, right? So here's your solution, introduction to the program here. Give a quick take on it, right? So, you know, this program will take you from this to this in this number of days. Tell them how they can get their benefit that they ultimately want, right? Because at the end of the day, it's most likely that whatever the program or course or thing is that you're selling, it's something that helps them get benefit A when they're really looking to get like benefit Z, right? They're moving toward this bigger thing. This is the now thing that you're trying to sell them so that they can see themselves in this new way in the future. Make sure that you're calling out that language in your copy as you're moving through the page. Now we actually break down what's in the program. Now, do you notice, and I'm just going to go back and recap this, do you notice that most of this really flows like a conversation? We're not leading straight in with, here's my program name. It does 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 things. Do you want to buy it? Right? No, we're saying, hey, is this you? Okay, cool. Keep reading. Question for you. Do you want this thing? Oh, you benefit, this benefit? You want this pain erased? Okay, well, I've got this thing. Let's talk about it a little more. Okay, so are you dealing with these things? Ouch, that hurts. Hey, it's cool. I've got you. I know how to make that pain go away. What would it be like if it was gone? How would you feel? Like, what would life look like for you? How would things be different? And they're thinking, they're painting this picture in their head as you're going through this. And now that they've painted the picture, you want to jump in, you want to make it real life. Hey, let's talk about why it's not like that yet. Let's acknowledge the work that you've done to try to do this on your own and why that doesn't work. Let's acknowledge and be present with the fact that this is emotionally difficult for you, that this is a struggle for you. I hear you. All we've got to do together is simple step, simple step, simple step. And look, there's a lot we got to do. Maybe there's a lot of work, but you've got me. Let's do this. And this is what we do this with. It's this program that I made. Here's how it's different. Here's how you'll get the benefit from it. And then of course, hey, you ready now? This will pop them down to where they pay. So what if they're like, yeah, okay, well, what's in it? All right, well, that's the next question, right? That's what comes to their mind. Now we're going to talk about what's in it. Tell me more about like, what are the details? Now we're breaking it down. So what you're going to find inside of this program is this phase, this phase, this phase. They all have dollar values. You should absolutely always stack the value of whatever it is that you're offering. Give things names so that you can brand them and really increase the perceived value of them. And at each stage, we want to talk about what this thing does. What is the currency that it helps them to get more or less of, right? We want some increase of some things and decrease of others. What does this do, right? And then tell them it doesn't have to be that way, right? Why isn't this working? Hey, here's the thing. We're going to do X, Y, Z here. It's worth this much. If we were to just work on this, it would cost this much money. Let's talk about why it hasn't been working. You don't have to keep dealing with that. In this phase, we're going to solve the problem by doing this and this and this and this. And then repeat for these others. If you have more phases than just 3, if you have 6, you can duplicate this section. If you have 2, you can delete one of these columns. If you got 4, you add another column. You can play around with this to your liking. And then of course, this call to action is still going to send them down the page to the purchase options. But then we've also got bonuses. Delete this if you don't have bonuses. Definitely recommend that you have some bonuses. It helps to increase the value perception, especially if you're going high ticket. Make sure that what you're giving away is really valuable here. So if you're offering, maybe you've got course material, but there's a series of live calls. How much are those live calls worth? Put that here, tell them what it'll do for them. You know, are there extra downloads, free things that you're piling in? What are those worth? What'll it do for them? And now you're going to stack everything up that you've talked about, right? So phase, 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 bonus, bonus. What are they all worth? We're going to stack up all of the value here and tell them what the price is, right? So today, this is the entire value. It's significantly more than what I'm actually charging. What I wanted to charge, what I was thinking about charging, what I really feel like this is worth is this, but today it's this, right? So you could stack this up to where, you know, the real value of this is 5 figures, but, you know, the list price, I'm thinking, you know, I really wanted to sell this for like 6 grand, but today this is $1,200, right? And that's how you kind of set that up. Now you can remove the sort of list price. You can just do total value. Like this is the value of all of this. And then this is the price that I'm offering. The list price is optional. Okay, so tell them why this is different from things that they've seen before. And then of course, what it's going to do for them and a little bit of like why you know what you're talking about. And let them know that those results are waiting, that they can have them if they get started. So then you want to drop in some testimonials here, just pop an image of a client in here and add a story. Make sure that these stories that you're sharing or testimonials are alluding to, or specifically like case study type stuff, alluding to some of the problems that you're calling out on the page. You really want the person who's a visitor here, that could be someone who purchases, you want them to relate to the people whose stories you feature here. So make sure you select those testimonials accordingly. All right. Now this is the payment option. All of the buttons have been jumping down to this section so far. Right? So we've got 3 options here where you can do pay in full, or you could have 2 different options, breaking your payments down into whatever number of payments of whatever, right? You've got all of these options here. So pay in full, be sure to let people know how much it saves them, i.e. if you have a payment plan that's broken up and there's maybe some financing attached to it or something like that, then of course you want to let them know how much of a savings they're getting if they pay in full. So there's one payment for the program here. I've used strike through text here. This is, you can just Google how to do it on your keyboard. It varies depending on the device that you're on. But this would be, you know, the previous figure for what this would have been, right? So pay in full should have been X number of dollars, but today I'm giving it to you for this price, right? So this is the should have been price. All right, so one payment, and then you put the price in. Put in, again, this is stuff that you stacked up previously, or a lot of this is bringing it down the page and copying and pasting stuff that you've already put in. Then of course you break this into your payment plans if you're going to have those. Then you've got Q&A. So now we've made it to the point where we're like, okay, what does it cost? What does it cost? What does it cost? We got here. And maybe they're like, I'm not ready yet. I have questions. Oh, you have questions? Here's a Q&A, right? It's always good to have a Q&A right beneath that section, because that's the next question, right? Or well, the next place their mind goes is I have questions. So have your Q&A right here, anticipate questions. And again, this is another reason why if you have been selling on calls, you probably already know what some of these are. And so you can actually ask them on the page as though you're someone, you know, who's on this page considering purchasing. Ask the question, answer it. I've got the formatting here in place where you just put the question in nice bold lettering, and then in just regular font weight, you italicize the answer. All right, so tell them what'll happen after they purchase. Hey, after you do this, you're going to get these things. Again, we've stacked this up elsewhere on the page. And when you're done with the program, here's what you're going to walk away with. So here's what's going to happen when you purchase. And then once you're done, this is what can happen for you. This is what's waiting for you. And we're really kind of getting down to like pushing a decision here at this point. So let's get you out of this stuck place and into whatever the thing is that you're offering. You can either keep doing what you're doing, or you can finally commit and get this done and partner with somebody who is in this with you. I would call out a purchase objection here. If you don't feel that much of a red personality, then you may personally choose to just say, like, you know, you could keep struggling. stay on the hamster wheel, or you could have a clear path with a partner. Let's get this done. Your choice in terms of how aggressive you want to be with your language. All right. And of course, it's your choice. Now here, add some bio. Here's a picture of you, a story about you, specifically your story as it relates to the person who's visiting this page who might purchase from you. And then you want to make sure that you add any of your refund policies, money back guarantees, things like this here in this section. Break it down one more time. It's for you or it's not for you. Are you this? Then you're in. If you're not, I'm not giving you a button to click, right? Pop in your best testimonial right here. Leave the heavy hitter for right here. And then we're just putting a copy, sort of carbon copy of the payment option down here at the bottom. It's basically last call, right? So, hey, is this you? All right, let's do it. Now, our final call here is really asking them, what's the cost of not getting this done? You could do it on your own, but if you could have, why are you here right now if you made it this far? And then how much more time do you want to let pass before you actually get this thing figured out? And if you basically want your call to action to be, I'm ready. And then when you click, I'm ready, it's actually going to take you to your pop-up where you've got the different purchase options, right? And they can put in their information and you're ready to go. Okay. So as you noticed, as conversations tend to be, especially if you want to sell something that is pricey, you need to have a long conversation. Sales pages, especially if you're going to sell something successfully high ticket, they got to be a little long because they have to facilitate the conversation. So let's look at what it means to actually modify this page. I'm not going to go into every single option because there's like a Pandora's box of unlimited options here that we could get into. But let me answer a question real quick here in our Q&A. Gigi, you do not need to make a copy of this page. You can simply edit the claim page and you're good to go. So it'll arrive in your account looking just like this. We do have some trainings on page editor changes. If you wanted to change this color from this pinky color, then you could certainly do that. Obviously, with our page editor, you can edit the content of a section using this edit content menu. You could edit the style of a section using this edit element styles menu, and then you just need to go and select the space that you want to edit. But what I wanted to really focus on here is not, how we actually edit the page, because we do have trainings on how to do that. I mean, it's for a lot of this, it's simply saying, okay, I want to edit the content of this section. You select it and you swap these pain points out with your own. It's pretty straightforward. But I want to get into how we actually set this page up so that it is effectively selling for you. Now, number one, we need to take note of the calls to action on the page. Now, all of the buttons right now, if you go and you click them, you're going to see that the URL says #payment. Now, the reason it says #payment is because further down on this page, where I have set up the purchase options, if we click this section here to edit the element styles right here, you're going to see that there is a section jump to name called payment. And that is for this section right here. Now, if you didn't want to have them jump down the page, then you would want to remove this jump to name and then add a different URL or use the lead pop-up, which is just #lead on any of these buttons that you see prior to that point. Now, beyond this point where we see our payment options, all of the buttons, including in this section, are actually going to show #lead right down here. And what that does, here, I'll show you what that looks like. What that does here is it pops up your box. So from this point forward, every button with a call to action is going to pop up the lead form. So that's #lead. So first, you obviously want to make sure that you are abundantly clear where your calls to action are leading, okay? Because your call to action is like what they respond to, and it's what makes them purchase. And if they click a button and it does nothing, you're not there with them, right? You're counting on this page to do the heavy lifting. So make sure that you've got this plugged up appropriately so that it can function for that purpose. All right, so that's basically it, where we're, covering on-page strategy. Let's talk about page setup strategy. We hit settings right here. You absolutely need to change the name of the title bar text, right? There's not a clear science here to this. The title bar text here is, you could have the name of your program. You could also speak to a problem, a currency, something that's important to your ideal person. This could also be the name of your program. It's up to you, but obviously you're going to want to remove sales page template from this because you don't want that showing up for your people. If you plan to share this on social media, do get yourself a sharing image for it. It's going to be the same resolution as like a Facebook post. So put that in here, give a sharing description. That's what's going to populate in terms of the copy when you share. So that's something that you would say to the effect of, introducing the XYZ program where you can get ABCD benefit, right? Search engine description. This is going to be like the metadata, like what you would see if this were to show up in search. And this is an important question for you. If you want just anybody to be able to find and purchase this, then you're going to actually select everywhere. Now, for some of us, we don't want to make this offer to just anyone. I personally work that way. You may work that way too. If you're a coach, if you're working with people one-on-one, you may not want just Joe Blow anybody to pay money for a program and be in your program before you have actually had a conversation with them, right? So you may choose to modify this. Right now, when you received it, it is set up by link only. Another thing, you can choose to remove the header and or the footer. If you are using this, if you're sending this to people, if you plan to share this sales page in a funnel where you've got, people who are regularly opening your emails, they're reading blog posts, and maybe you've got a campaign where you're sending this multiple times, right? It could be fine to have your header and menu there because you know what, if they're not ready, they could also go to your blog, they could go to other parts of your site, and that's totally fine. But if they're only going to be getting this link like once, or it's not going to be really sort of hit home multiple times over and over again in a sales campaign, I would actually encourage you to remove these options because we want them to stay on this page. If you've got links on this page that can go somewhere else, they're going to get clicky, leave the page, and never even make it through far enough to envision themselves in that future place where they could, have benefited from purchasing this program from you. So that's my recommendation. It's your choice. All right, now let's get into leads here. This is going to be a pop-up. And the lead capture headline I've chosen is let's get this done. Change it to your liking. The button says let's do this, and I've given it this color. You could certainly change these things yourself. I'm also telling them to choose your payment option, and let's get started because we're offering payment options. All right, we also have lead capture form fields here. You can add additional fields, ask more questions, totally up to you. I've just got name and email in here. Now, definitely don't have to do this right here because in the purchase options, we'll be able to set this up. But do go ahead and put in whatever the redirect might be, which I highly, especially if this is a high ticket offer, recommend a confirmation page that tells them what to expect next. If you've just sold something high ticket, I would make a page that is dedicated to this one specifically that says, I'm so excited that you're a part of XYZ program name. Here's our group, check your email right now, add me to your safe list, and then go check your email, download the AttractWell app, yada, yada, whatever directions you want to give them, go do those things right now. I'm going to see you in your inbox in just a minute. I'm so excited to work with you, right? So make sure that you've got a page on your site that you're directing to there. And then finally, let's go over to payments. This is where we're going to make some serious adjustments and make sure that your page is set up to sell exactly what you want. So if you have payment plan options, obviously you want to give a pay in full, apply an amount, a currency. If you want to use coupon codes, you're going to want to have a payment, a paid in full for full price. And then you would create an additional payment option with a coupon code that would be some percentage off or something like that. And you would create that new one with that amount. But for this one, I'm just showing what it reflects on the page. So paid in full, if you want to use automations here, you can. You want to tag them, maybe tag them differently based on their payment plans. You want to add them to a specific campaign based on the payment plan they chose. You can do that. You can add them to one or more vaults. Completely up to you. It depends on what you're offering, right? Depends on what you're selling. If your content is in a vault, then of course you want to connect it here. And then what I would do is actually just make sure that the campaign that is attached to the vault is set up, and you've got an email that will go out to them that says, hey, you've got this vault now. Here's what you do next. Okay, so you could always add additional payment options by clicking this button right here. You can choose whether or not they're active. You can add or remove, completely up to you. I have this saying that vaults must be purchased separately. It's just because I didn't want to send something from our account that would act weird in yours, but you could certainly make sure vaults are included in purchase here if that's something that you're offering. It's totally up to you. So what I would do is get this first set up, obviously confirming that you want to use this same sort of flow of conversation, finally leading up to this place where we offer the price down here. Make sure that you have the buttons actually set up to connect to what we want to connect them to, which again, up to this point on the page is jumping to this section. And then on this section and beyond, we are going to the lead form. After you've gotten that done, go into your settings and let's make sure that you've got your page settings, the verbiage and stuff on your lead form here, and your payment options set up so that this thing is functional, right? Then, obviously save and then view it. Or actually you could go over here and preview your page on different devices, right? You could look at different devices here, move through them. Here, let's go ahead and take a look at that one. So you can just start scrolling through and just click your buttons and it'll take them to where you want to go, right? Just go through and make sure that this works and that you've got the back end figured out. And then you can play around with all the prettying of everything, making it look exactly like you want to. Okay, so I know this is a lot, but I'm loving the questions. So I would love to see more of those. So let me know if you would like to see anything in particular in terms of how we can modify this page or make changes. Couple of quick tips. If you wanted to use like a background image, like in this section here in Canva, I like to use the blog banner setting, which is really easy to look up and use. Let me just demo that for you really quickly because it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go over here to edit page and I'm going to edit this section. I'm going to click this little pencil in this background and you can actually see the image here. I'm going to click change background image, add a design from Canva, and I'm going to go to blog banner. It's an image default, open Canva. And let's just say that I like this image, but I don't want this. So I'm going to delete these guys and I'm going to send that to AttractWell. It's really as simple as that. And then we'll be able to add that to that section. It's already set up to be parallax, so you can actually scroll over the top of it. So it's going to take a second to load it. I simply need to click that button there, and then let's look at what it will look like when it's live on the site. See, we just hover over. It's pretty simple. Okay, so let's see what kind of questions we have. And I'm curious if you're getting some ideas as to how you might, frame what you're going to sell with a page like this. All right, so we've covered this one. You can edit the template just as you've received it. All right, if we're giving them access to a vault with the offering on the sales page, is it better to have the payment at the vault level or does it not matter? So Heather, the only instance where you would want to have your payment at the vault level is if it's a recurring payment. So if it is, basically what you're going to do is set up payment option A or B. And then you're going to have like, here's my paid in full. I'm going to click here. And then if you've got multiple payment options for like recurring, then you're going to send them over to the vault page, right? So you could send any of those, like instead of having lead on the form, you could take your vault checkout page URL and send them there. And you could do that actually for any of those buttons at that section and below. And let me show you what I mean by that, because that could sound a little confusing. So we don't currently have recurring payments for like on pages yet. It's just at the vault level. So if you have something that is like the AttractWell pipeline igniter, I'll use this one. It's got a purchase option in here. All right, so if we hit view vault here, I'm logged in, so it's not gonna, oh, here we go, yeah. So if this had payment options, right, then what we would do is we would grab this link right here. The other way to find this is to go to go to payment setup, and then you would copy this right here, this vault page URL, and then you would take that and you would plug it into these buttons right here, right? So this would be your paid in full, and these would be where you would link off to the vault for multiple payment options. Or if they're all subscription options, or it's just one subscription option, then this button and all of the subsequent buttons here are going to go off to that, that vault page, this guy right here, so that we can support the multiple or ongoing payment options. But yeah, it is really nice if it's just a one-time thing. Like if it's just like, here's the program, it costs this much. Here's our one payment option. It is nice to be able to include everything just on one page, right? So the checkout is just right there on that page, on the sales page. Don't have to go anywhere else. If their internet connection drops, we don't lose them going to a second page. Try to use the page as often as possible. As the place where you have them check out. Another cool thing that you can do with these sales pages is maybe you want to offer, this is a bundle, right? So maybe there's recurring calls with you or something like that if it's a program, but you know, they get access to 3 or 4 different vaults, and you have unlimited vaults and classes as an option now. So that's definitely something that you can do. We support adding multiple vaults in those different payment options. So maybe payment option 1 is Vault A, B, and C. Payment option 2 is Vault A and B, and payment option 3 is Vault C, or something like that. You've got a lot of different things that you can do there. It's kind of intended to be a blank canvas. It's really just kind of getting you to think through the conversation you're initiating in your copy. All right, Carrie Gale, not sure if you covered this, but do we have to set up PayPal, or does it go to our bank account linked to the platform? Really good question. Stripe is actually what we have integrated. So if you go into, I'm going to talk through this because I don't know, Greg, is our Jane account enabled with this? Like, could I show that?
I don't think it is. The main AttractWell one is.
Okay.
I know that's connected, so.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, and that's going to be, if we go and type in payment, so set up payment processing. So here's literally what I'm doing. If you ever want to know, because I didn't remember exactly where this was, this is what you can do. Just go up to the search bar and type in the word payment. And here we go, set up payment processing, right? So we just click this guy right here, and I've got Stripe. You're going to see this if you haven't done it yet. You just click connect with Stripe, and it's actually going to take you to Stripe, where you're going to set up a login if you haven't set one up yet, or you're going to, connect your existing Stripe account. And then you'll have that as a payment processing option on the page. And then, yeah, of course, whatever bank account you have connected to Stripe is how you would receive those payments. Oh yeah, and we don't, really good question, Sherry. We don't take money from what you're selling. Stripe has its thing, payments on the page builder. And that's on the vault. Yeah, vault payments don't have any AttractWell fee. The page builder has a 1%. All right, let's see. Good questions. Oh, I'm glad you like this, Beth. I hope it's really helpful for you. Y'all let me know if you have any other questions. If not, like, let's go get this done. I'm excited to see what you make. Sure, Sherry. So on-page payment would be, so basically as the page is right now, where they click the button and the form is lead and it pops it up and you pay right there on the page. If you want to make all of those buttons point over to the vault, that's how you can handle the recurring payments. It also bypasses like a 1% fee. Here, let me show you me go back to this edit page. So this is the actual page. And if we were going to pretending this is a live page and somebody wanted to purchase, they could click here and this is the on page, right? But if we wanted to instead have this page be what we direct to, because this is where you can sell a vault. And also this necessitates that you are selling something that's in a vault, right? So if your sales page is selling something that's in a vault, then what I'm talking about here will make sense. You would simply go to your vaults and you would get the vault checkout page and you would just link that to the buttons everywhere on your template where it says lead. Hashtag lead. You would just send them to this. Let me go to payment setup. All right. You would send them to this vault checkout page. You would send them to this link right here. And they would go there instead of the lead form on the sales page. I hope that makes sense. And if you find yourself in the middle of this and you're like, I don't know what that means, just let us know. We're happy to help. We'll be back here same time next week. We could go live with you on this and walk through anything. Oh, good question. What is a vault? So a vault is really, it's a container for content. So I'll show you the AttractWell client portal, which is our member area. And here, let me go over here. And actually, if you go to, what is it, attractwell.com/members. If you have access to any of the free courses that we regularly promote on this channel, then you will actually see this member area and you have a login to it. So this is a member area, right? So the AttractWell client portal is a member area that has a number of different programs. And those programs are hosted in vaults. So we've got a free course, how to build your online course, client funnel challenge, and we've got this little paid program here called the Pipeline Igniter. Now, your people who sign into your member area may or may not see all of these things. They may just see one of them, whatever they have access to or they have permission to see. But these are all vaults. And inside of the vaults, I think we'll do this one. Inside of the vaults, you'll see content. In this case, the only content that's here is an online course. You can see the little graduate cap there. When you click that, it opens up the actual online course where we've got sections and we've got, individual lessons, and people can actually scroll through, take advantage of information. We have also, let me show you another one that's actually like a program. I run this a couple times a year. So it could also look like this. This is a vault. Where I run a group coaching program. You can see recent activity, people, having discussion. There's discussion rooms. That's what this mastermind is. You can actually have a discussion room inside of a vault. You can have online classes, which you've already seen. And then of course you can have pages like this guide page where you can share information. You could also have pages like this one where people can jump on to live calls. This would be a Zoom link. And then of course they can check out any replays. If you wanted to do that kind of thing. So vaults are basically a place for you to host courses, programs, replace Facebook groups. If you wanted to have, if you've used Facebook groups in the past for a value add for programs, you can use that function inside of our vaults as well. And if you go to attractwell.com/online course, we actually show you how to set an entire thing up for yourself exactly as you want it. Thanks for that question, Tanya. All right, Cheryl, this is off topic. I'm just starting coaching and setting up a coaching vault. I think I'm going to structure it as a class with categories. What are your goals? Let's run a Zytoscan, create a 90-day wellness plan, and schedule action items supported with bi-monthly one-to-one calls. I think that's a great idea. What I personally love doing with coaching inside of vaults, just to sort of structure a program, it's going to depend very much on whether or not it's one-on-one coaching or something at volume like group or more of an online course or a hybrid. But for one-on-one, what I really find most helpful is to get the reference materials, the teaching stuff. We actually did a video on our YouTube channel a while back, one of our weekly calls on how to coursify your coaching. I would definitely take a look at that because that's going to kind of give you some ideas on how you can have videos in your vault do the teaching part for you. Because in coaching, we can often spend 75% or more of our time teaching concepts and not actually coaching toward results. So if you have your videos teaching what they need to know, then you can spend your time on your calls coaching, right? And helping to move them through those steps that they need to follow. So I would be thinking about sort of, what are the steps that they need to follow? What are the things they need to know, in what order, and maybe consider setting it up where you've got lessons in your vault inside of online courses that go through those things step by step. And then what you can do is sort of have a call and response with them. So we go ahead and we schedule our calls up front, and then, your homework before our next call is this video in the vault. And now they can watch that, and then you could get back together. Maybe they do some some kind of assignment that you give them, a worksheet, something like that, before you go back together. So excited to see what you come up with there, Cheryl. And feel free, if you want to go to attractwell.com/work review, we could actually walk through something like that, a strategy like that together on a call just like this one. You can set aside time and you can let me know ahead of time what you want to work on, and we can actually sit down and do that on a call just like this one. Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, thank you for being here today. I know that was quite long, but sales pages are if you want them to work to sell. So excited to see what you put together. Again, attractwell.com/work review, all one word. You can sign up to be on a call just like this, and we can help you create exactly what you want to work for your business. We'll be back same time next week. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.